Hey, it's Michael. Today I'm gonna demonstrate the differences between these two keyboards. It's my trusty old PX-200 Casio and my brand new Casio PX-S5000. Kind of a mouthful, a lot of letters and numbers. The S5000 and the old trusty 200. So the PX200, I've had this keyboard for maybe close to 10 years now, and brand new it was probably a little under $1,000, about $1,000, and it was a game changer for me at the time. It was one of the first keyboards I'd ever seen that was lightweight, had a good sound, and had weighted keys, and those three things were just what I needed for playing gigs. I could carry this thing around without getting a hernia. I had to lug around a much heavier keyboard, and it was not good. So I was very happy to discover this. Let me play a little bit of this just so you can hear how it sounds. And this is by the way just the default grand piano 1 setting on the thing. I just turned it on, and I'm going direct into the computer, but I also have a little room mic here, so you can there's built-in speakers, and we'll compare a little bit of that too. So here we are with the grand piano 1 on the PX200. Sorry, PX200. So pretty good dynamic range. And I love the high end. So it's a great keyboard. I've always thought it was just what I needed, and it served me well. But this year I decided let's take a step up and see what Casio has to offer, because I've been out to some shows. I'd heard some other pianists playing some of the newer Casios, and I thought, wow, those things sound even better, and the costs are pretty reasonable. So I decided to go ahead and spring for the new S5000 here. I believe it's a Hamburg Steinway sample that they use, and let's kind of so you can hear. I'll just play a little bit more of this. So it's a much mellower sound, richer. And again, this is the default setting. I haven't tweaked it, or there are lots of different samples, but this is settings. But this is the best one, I think, or the default setting. I usually just go with that. So one of the things I listen for in a piano sound is first of all, how many voices does it have? Because if you play a big arpeggio like that with the pedal down, you get that resonant buildup of all those notes, and if you don't have enough voices, you'll start to hear the cutoff, and it's kind of subtle, but let's see if you can hear the difference. Do the same kind of thing over here on the PX200. I think you can kind of hear that, right? The middle notes are dropped out. Let me try that again. Let's try it down a little bit. There. Hear that cutoff? I'm holding the pedal down. I haven't released the pedal at all. Let's do that again with that G chord on the newer one on the 5000. So I think this clearly it has more voices, so that's one big advantage. And I just think the sound is much more nuanced and richer on the newer pianos. It works. It's you don't notice it until you compare them side by side, which is why I'm making this video. I wish somebody had made this video before I decided to make my purchase, and now that I'm doing it myself, I'm like, yeah, I think it was worth it. But you make up your own mind. The 200, you can get these used probably for $200-300. I'm going to be putting this one on the market this weekend, and I'm hoping it will sell for $200 or $300, whereas this is now about $1,000. So if you're just getting started, or if you're just looking for a good MIDI controller that you don't care about the sound, I mean, this could be perfect. It's got a real nice feel. It's a little, now they put a different finish on the keys now, that it has more of a texture, which is more like a real grand, and I actually really like that. It's a little grabbier. It's got a little bit, so your fingers don't slip and slide as much. But that may not be a big deal. These plastic keys, on the 200, they don't have quite the same feel, but it's not that big of a deal, honestly. But it. Pretty good, right? Well, let's go to the 5000 kind of. Now that high end, it's got that crispy high kind of with the. This is similar. I don't have this turned up as high, I think. I would say, and you can make your own judgment again. The internal speakers on the 200, first of all, they're facing up, which is kind of nice for the listener. These are facing out, and I think that's part of the issue. You just don't get as much direct sound out of the 5000, but that may not be an issue if you're mostly playing live or you're in the studio. But if you're just playing for yourself at home, the 200 having the upward facing speakers is actually kind of an advantage, in my opinion. So, it's a matter of personal preference to some extent, I suppose, whether you want those. Having the speakers facing out might be an advantage in some situations. You want to project the sound to the audience. I don't know. But the internal speakers they're only loud enough to really. I mean, I've got this thing turned up just about full blast. So I don't know if I would say unless you're playing just a very quiet cocktail lounge situation, you're probably going to need an amplifier of some kind. You're going to be putting it through a PA. So. You probably aren't going to be able to just rely on the internal speakers alone. So anyway, I'm going to play a little bit more just to give you let's try something a little quieter, a little different. beautiful sustain. That's the other thing you want to listen for in these pianos. The quality of the sustain is very important. So if you hold a note, hold a chord rather, let it ring, do you hear the looping? A little bit maybe on this one. It's pretty good, pretty good. They're probably looping the sample, but it's pretty subtle. If you don't know what I mean, Google looping samples and you'll see what I'm talking about. Basically, these things are just playing back digital recordings of a real piano, and at some point, you know, the length of the sound, the longer the sample, the more memory it takes up, and it's hard for the manufacturers to put all that memory in, so they cheat a little bit by looping the sample to reduce the amount of memory it takes, but that causes this looping effect that you can kind of hear. I think it's better on the 5000. You would hope so, right? After 10 years, they would have improved on that. But yeah, memory has gotten cheaper. All the components are cheaper now. But the feel, I definitely feel is better. This one has, there are probably some technical issues that I'm not very good at explaining, but there's a definite improvement in the feel as well. There's like a strip of felt here that helps with the escapement on the piano. You'll have to Google some more videos to find exactly the reason, but it does feel better, even more like a real piano to me, definitely. And the dynamic range is really good. You can really get quiet, loud. Yeah. It's still not like a real grand, but it's pretty darn good. So let's go back to the old 200 just for old time's sake and try a few things. This is sort of demonstrate that issue. Can you hear the looping? It's not bad. Even 10 years ago, they kind of had that figured out, I guess. Let's try it again with a different chord. It's really not a big deal unless you're playing some really very slow and at the ends of the pieces, you know, when you hold the chord, you don't notice it that much. But it's pretty good. So again, you know, it's something that for a beginner, you're probably not going to notice. And really, this would be a great investment. So I hope someone will buy my keyboard. But in the meantime, I'm enjoying playing the 5000. It's definitely a more enjoyable experience for a pianist. All right. Well, hey, thanks for watching.